How many of us have them friends?
9 to 5.
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 Coming to you live from my spare bedroom.
Wealth. Opulence. Excellence and opulence.
It's
Man,
mainly
they're
laundry and
bedroom.
Jamal's snacks in this bitch. Make some noise right now. What up, y'all? Episode 149 of 9 to 5 podcast. I'm one of the great hosts of this fucking podcast, Danny.
You got Kyle. And Torrance.
We're back. This is it. This is the mecca of podcasting. This is the Madison Square Garden of audio. And I feel like out of, if you're still listening to us 3 years later, our millions and millions of listeners, thank you all for everything that you've done for us so far. We've really been able to feed our families off of this. And that's that's probably what brings me back every single week is that we get to come on here and support ourselves by just being us. And like
you put food on our table.
Yes.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
Honestly, can we thank you enough?
Yeah.
No, never.
I wouldn't be where I'm at without you guys, without the listeners, dedication,
Week in and week out.
You tell people to listen and it's a great feeling. Like I said, the life that I've been able to live now because of the podcast,
Crazy.
It's just different. Anyways, it's a podcast about work, life, and depression. If you don't already follow us on social media, do that right now at 9 to 5 podcasts with an S. And listen to our other podcasts on the same fucking feed. Give us 5-star ratings. If you don't give us 5-star ratings, then that means that you are a hater and your mom's a hoe. And also vote.
Oh, yes. Important.
The views expressed on this podcast are our own and not any employers, presidential candidates, or dogs of ours.
Yeah.
Would it be crazy to get canceled because of your dog? Is that a thing? Can that happen?
Like, what would your dog have to do in order for you to get canceled?
Probably something wild. I mean, I don't know. Dogs are typically toxic beings.
They can have very bad vibes, so I guess their vibes could be so bad that maybe like a small group of people would cancel you.
Torrance hates Jamal, FYI. Most people, after coming to Chicago for my wedding, most people don't like Jamal, and it's crazy that
I never said
Torrance is the president of the Jamal Haters Club.
No,
Society.
I'm not. What I don't like is when I say move and you look at me and do this. Bitch, I said move.
I think that's more of a respect issue, and so that's something you got to take up with him personally, because it sounds like Jamal don't respect you.
I don't fuck with him personally. Now I ain't say I don't like him. I ain't say that.
Honestly, that's crazy.
I'm benefited at this moment.
That's crazy that you don't like him because he don't respect you.
No, I don't. Well, there's the reason why I wouldn't like somebody.
Because you don't have no somebody. This is a four-legged animal. They just don't respect
young
you.
black four-legged animal.
That's just that's just the pheromones coming off you. That's just your essence.
So you saying that Jamal respects you? Jamal don't respect Danny sometimes.
Me? He respects me. The thing about it is Jamal gets excited. I be beating Jamal's ass. So, Jamal's Jamal's Tariq. Like, he's been in the streets a little bit. He has a checkered past. So sometimes he reverts back to that street shit. And I have to just
That's my least favorite ever. By the way,
10 weeks of life before you got him from the pet store. Was that?
Yeah, he had a rough 13 weeks. He did a rough 13-week bid in Petland, Naperville, and he saw some shit. Let's just say he saw some shit. But no, shout out to everybody. Wedding weekend was fantastic. Your boy's married.
Air horns.
Yeah, I don't have those in here yet.
We keep saying it.
What's this sound? That's macaroni cheese.
But also, I don't feel like it's not fitting, but it's fine.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to this soundboard, I don't yet know what is what still. But that was mac and cheese. But yeah, we're here, bro. We did it. This was a very low key but fun wedding.
It was.
Of course, there was people that I would have loved to have been. Anyways, yeah, people piss me off. I'm in a bad mood. Off mic, Kyle and Torrance has heard me talk shit about most people that are on the internet that we know, that people that are listening probably know personally. If you could be listening and we're talking bad about you as well, but at this point in my life, I don't care, and I'm a hater. Well, not even a hater. I am a hater of certain things, but also people piss me off. We'll get to this later, but yeah, people annoy me. I understand now. Back in college, people say, "Yo, Danny's mean," and I'm like, "How am I mean?"
I'm glad that now you see that, because there were many times that people were like, "Oh, like Danny's the mean one."
Yes,
and you would be
many
like,
occasions.
Like, how am I mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, because you're an asshole.
But I try to be very, very loving and caring and considerate of people.
When you want to like them, or like when you do like them, or you have some type of respect for them, if you don't respect them, and it's not like they did something disrespectful to you, if they do something that irritates the fuck out of you, you just lost respect for you. They lost, like, you just lost respect, and then that's it.
You know, some of that comes from moving and like feeling, you know, when you move to a different town or something, it's like going to jail, where it's like, first motherfucker say something to me, I gotta stab him.
Let them know I'm that.
Yeah, I'm new on the block. I'm doing this little 2-year bid in economics and pre-algebra, and I don't play that shit. And and that's how it was. I mean, especially up until freshman year of football. But I think that's some of where it comes from, bro. And yeah, it's my pay. I remember when them scooter joints, the scooter gangs, whatever, stole my fucking hat. I'd never been so close to fighting a woman in my life until that exact moment. Because I didn't know mind you, these women were not good looking. That's the first thing. And if someone listens to this and feels offended, I've already had 3 mimosas and I'm in a horrible mood. But so just imagine if like 3 5 to 4s stole something of yours. Torrance, what, man? Fuck it, bro. It is what it is. And these young women now are, you know, they're great. And I've probably had multiple conversations about how they're, you know, I'm sorry for saying what I said. And we're everyone's gone through rough phases in their life. We all have been ugly at some point, and it is what it is. But just imagine some unattractive people steal something of yours that you don't know, and I was a freshman in school, so I also didn't know that many people at school. And I feel like that interaction with me probably being mean to those people and like calling them names to get my hat back probably made people think, oh yeah, Danny's mean. But they stole something of mine.
I mean, but you also stole something of mine.
Right. You came and took it. Cause you know, like you're young, like, oh, you know, you flirt with people and tell, give my hat back. And you get in a party and somebody tell you, oh, you know, you can take my hat. You can wear it if you want to.
You ain't have a shape of that day, did you? That's what the issue was.
But just imagine if someone like, oh, you like, there's not too many people wearing Cincinnati hats in North Carolina. So just imagine if someone's like, oh, they don't look that good, and they have your hat on. Then that's a branding issue that I have to address. So
it's a branding issue at that point. At that point,
these are jokes. This is comedy. This is jokes.
And I feel like that needs to be addressed. And that
was a fun time. Like I said, we all go through. If you look back at anybody's Facebook, there's definitely been ugly phases where people had afros with no tapers, and it is what it is. But at that point, when I saw these people take my hat, but I think that would set the tone for me in college. Like, yo, Danny's an asshole, because they probably saw the end result of me being pissed about getting my hat back, and they didn't see like, oh, these people stole my hat and had it for like multiple business days. It wasn't even like it was like it was in one night. It was like overnight. I left and went to multiple classes without my hat, one of my hats. But I'm not mean. I just don't like a lot of people. I mean, and I think that's a realization I came to last night, is that most people I don't like. I tweeted it today. That's how I feel.
What were you? Let's get into you right now, Daniel. What were you doing where you just came across? Were you doing like some meditation, some journaling? What was happening?
So this is we're going to talk about it later. But I was watching this boxing match last night. Gervonta Tank Davis, big fan. I was over a coworker of mine's house. He said, "Yo, we're gonna watch the fight. My roommate, maybe one of his homies, gonna be there, and pull up." I'm like, "Cool." There's been multiple different tests after the wedding. Like, we're good. Whatever. I'll pull up. 3-4 people in an apartment. It's no more riskier than going to get some orange juice from the grocery store. And so we get there. Then there's a couple more people there than I expected. 3 or 4 more. Well, 3 more, 2 or 3 more. I'm like, cool. Or there was only 1 or 2 more. Than like the guy that was invited that didn't live there kept asking if he could bring one more person. So I'm like, okay, like I'm not really trying to be around.
Can't have a +1.
And mind you,
+3.
Mind you, I was talking to my boy Jacob about this, he owns the house. These motherfuckers weren't even trying to watch boxing. There was boxing on TV loud. You hear commentators, we're debating it. It's a very sports centric, situation.
That was for a kickback.
These motherfuckers was just hanging out.
In the middle of a pandemic.
At one point, these 4 group of dudes left his apartment to go get food and then came back to eat at this nigga's kitchen as if we weren't there, like the fights weren't on. They were just in the kitchen eating, talking amongst each other. I'm like, what was the point of you coming back to this other man's house that half y'all don't even know to just like have dinner?
Yeah, that's strange.
While we're watching this and we're like, you don't know what I got or you got. Like, why? What's the point? This will be weird. Last fucking October.
Mm-hmm. This would have been a weird fucking thing to do.
This is asinine. This is ridiculous now. And then so they're like kind of done eating, and then I'm like sitting here in my little corner trying to be away from people, watch this fucking fight. And then the nigga starts asking me about like what I do for a living. I'm like, sir,
I'm watching boxing. I'm not having a conversation.
First of all, I'm watching boxing. I'm facing this screen of television. Second of all, it's Saturday night, my nigga. No, nothing about work no one brought work up. I don't want to talk about work right now. My job is a little bit cooler than the last job I had, and it's a blessing and it's whatever, but I don't want to talk. Who wants to talk about work? I guarantee you, probably the CEO of my company doesn't want to talk about work on a Saturday night after 2 beers with a stranger, mind you, a stranger. And the work that I have now, it's like, it's kind of like it's almost a conversation starter.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, I don't want to talk. Oh, so who do you, come on, bro. I don't even know you. And it's Corona. I don't want to be talking to you.
I sell crack. That's what I did.
Yeah, bro. I was so pissed off. And that's when I realized, like, you know what? As a man, as a grown up, I don't like people. Because realistically, the guy didn't mean any harm. He was being a very nice young man. The other people that came to the house, they weren't the most polite people, but they weren't mean.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't need to be around people that often.
No, I'm with you. People are unnecessary for the most part.
80% of people I don't like.
Yeah.
That's a good ratio for me.
I think that's like part of just with age too. Like you realize that you don't have to like pretend to like people as much anymore. Like there's no the social like norms that tied you into fake liking people when you were in college and stuff like that don't exist.
Yeah, I think as you get older, especially black people, white people too, I think every 5 years, it's another percent it goes up of amount of people that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So like by the time we're 35, it's like, all right, 81.5%. By the time we're 60, it's like 90% of niggas we not really fucking with. And that's why you get like old racist people that like, or you bring somebody to your grandmother and she doesn't like, oh, I don't like your significant other, or your that kid is like, don't bring them kids into this damn house. Like that's the maturation of oldness. And I think at our ripe age of 28s, that like we are now at the point where I have my group of friends that these are my group of friends. Give or take, unless one of y'all, steals something from me, and even still, we'd probably be mad for like 3 or 4 years.
You didn't notice yet? Good.
Oh yeah, just trust me. I've been looking all week for shit to confirm. yeah, this is my realization that I don't like most people. Anyways, Black History Fact. Since we talked shit about Black people for the last 8 minutes and demeaning Black people, can you give us a positive? Black
on today, November 1st, excuse me, I can't speak. In 1945, the first issue of Ebony magazine was published.
Black Ebony magazine.
What's
What's
the
the other?
meaning of
Is
Ebony
Essence the only?
nowadays? Jet was the old one back in the day.
Jet, yeah.
I guess Ebony's still around, right? It's Jet.
Yeah,
That's not
I
around.
think so.
Essence
Jet's
is
not around. And
yeah,
Jet's not
Essence
around. I think Ebony is still around, I think. And
I
yeah,
think
Essence
Ebony's
is still around.
We need to go to Essence Fest when all this opens.
Honestly,
Fine.
yes.
I was gonna try to go this year. If
I think
Corona
like
wasn't a thing, I was going to go.
22 maybe, 2023.
Yeah.
That's gonna be big crowds. So I'm gonna need like the Rona to air out a little more.
Like super.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe 23 or 24 maybe. Essence Fest could be a move.
That's okay.
Especially because we'll really be in our 30s by then too, you know.
I feel like that's prime. Right? I feel like
really play the part.
30s prime is like I'm looking for that. Like
I'll pack like 14 different loafers like for the week. I got
all lit suits.
3 loafers per day.
Danny's definitely gonna be rocking a straw hat in his 30s too. Easy.
Yeah, bro. When the niggas go, what y'all fail to realize is I have a whole nother additional level that I'm gonna have to go to because when I go bald,
loafers.
Yeah, when niggas go bald, and I quit my day job whenever that happens, and I'm just out here just doing comedy and writing full time, niggas definitely gonna be like, oh, this.
Danny go dress like Cedric the Entertainer did in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I'm gonna have 14 button suits on and shit. Like, yeah, brother. I'm gonna have slacks on in my house, inside the house. Like, yeah, cooking breakfast and shit.
Hard bottom shoes on all the time.
That's how you know old Black folks. What belts on? Why you got belts on in the house, sir?
why your dress shoes? Why your dress shoes? Why your shirt tucked in? Why you got on dress shoes inside?
That is something with old people though, because like even my dad, like he doesn't wear suits all day every day anymore. But like why can't you dress up more? Why you wearing a t-shirt and jeans to work every day? Look like a bum, like a high schooler. Like, sir, I don't need to wear a full suit to go get breakfast. Like, you need to relax.
Black people, like casual to old black people is like jeans. Like, I'm gonna do some yard work in these jeans. I'm gonna go to the grocery store in like jeans and a belt.
Why can't old people get exercise clothes? Like, why do you always see like you like go out for a walk or something like that? You'll see old people exercising in like a polo shirt and like some khakis.
Right.
Like,
Like, I wish I would sweat in a polo. That's the most unbreathable material, heavy ass cotton. This extra collar
like around the neck,
choking me and shit. My arms can't move because the fucking sleeves are tailored. But old motherfuckers, they will wear these, bro. That is crazy, bro. You be in the house. Why do you have a belt on in the house, sir? It's 9:52.
Oh my god!
What is going on? You live here. You've been sitting down the whole time. Why are you dressed like this?
Why?
Look, you got to be fully dressed to go get the newspaper in the morning.
You got layers on. Why you got layers on in the house?
Like you're laying down. Like it's not like you like about to go somewhere or do something. Like your legs are propped up.
I know you musty.
Sitting down.
You gotta be musty.
Like, bro, like it's just.
How you just musty in the house? You ain't been outside yet today. Shout out to all the old people over 62. It's been real.
Oh my God.
Do your thing. No, y'all done seen some shit though, so we can't talk. Torrance Weekly News Update.
Yeah. So, it's obviously you can't do a news update without some sad shit. So I gotta mix it all in there. What you laughing at? Oh my God.
The way you just like had to obviously take a deep breath because there's so much fucked up shit going on. You just got I can tell you how to just prepare yourself.
Honestly,
like,
I'm like,
looking at CNN.
All right, let me like grip my I'm like, all right, how do I like
I get my pasta together?
It's like because I be like sometimes I don't want to be saying this shit because it's just so damn sad, but it's like God, like what else? It's the news. Like I got
14 babies have died.
Like basically,
right.
It's real ghetto shit. So the Philly protests that are happening after the black man was killed. Basically, the family called to get someone to help because he's mentally ill, and police came and shot him. Just typical things that police do. So there have been protests and looting and things like that, and dismantle, break these motherfuckers down.
And same as Walter Walsh Jr. too. Don't want to
Walter Walsh, yes, Walter Walsh.
Yeah, it's a shame. We've heard multiple people talk about it. I kind of had to disassociate myself with it from it because it's just a lot to deal with.
Who the fuck do you call? Like, the only number you got is 911, bitch. Like, that's who the fuck you're supposed to call when you need assistance. However, there isn't any other number, truly, if you need immediate assistance. And then they send police officers that come and kill you.
They gotta stop sending police officers for mental health calls. I think it's like San Francisco or one of those towns up in Northern California is like one of the first places where they're not going to send police officers for mental health calls anymore, and they're going to be sending like professional like mental health service people.
Yeah, I mean, at least
whatever, like that type of stuff is what needs to happen.
Yeah, I feel like if people have to be on, in certain cases, I think there might need to be a reason that I'm going into a dangerous situation where I might need some protection beyond just a taser if I'm a professional. But I think there should be a whole different subgroup of public officials that might be, well versed in not only conflict resolution and mental health issues, but also some level of tactical understanding too, whether they be, ex-military people, or I don't know, whatever fucking whoever it is that are just purely there for non-violent or criminal kind of emergency situations. If I had to go into a situation where it's maybe it is drugs, but there's also someone that is mentally maybe they were self-medicating and they're now all of a sudden in this fucking crack house, and I got to go in and potentially apprehend this person or bring them to safety like that. I don't want to just go in there with a flashlight, So I understand the need to want to be protected if you're somebody like that, but there needs to be a totally different group of people that don't have this criminal hue to them going into these, or influence going into these situations. And hopefully if that were to happen, then that would help some of the actual criminal situation. Because at the end of the day too, if someone's selling drugs or selling cocaine, is that really worth them getting shot over or dying from the police over? Like, come on, not really. I don't think so. So I don't know. I mean, we've talked about police reform all day long, and people talk about defunding the police, what we should or should not do. And I think people try to act like defunding police means that we should have no police, which I think, sure, there's probably people who think we should defund all the policemen, but I feel like there's just defunding means putting those monies in this other groups of public officials that can actually protect us and not just be there to fucking tackle us and honestly
making a realistic system that is meant to actually help people versus to subdue or kill people.
You got firefighters with EMTs and then police. That's it. Either my house is on fire or I'm fucking selling drugs. It's like politics. It's two.
Exactly.
These two. I got shot, or I'm in a car accident and I need the EMT, or I'm shooting somebody and I'm getting shot in the head or whatever. Like it's not. How's there not an in between to just?
And I think it's just the approach, right? Like the approach is about saving lives when it comes to, like, somebody tweeted, like, don't nobody say fuck the firefighters. We love firefighters. Right.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, but it's about the approach. The approach is, okay, I need to save these people. Police officers like, no, I need to kill this person. Like, that is the thought process. And how can I make this threat, quote unquote, go away? Yes. But the threat may not be a threat, but that's not how you're taught to think as a police officer, which is why it doesn't make any fucking sense to have all these millions and millions and billions of dollars funneled into police funding federally and these state at the state level, for there to be not enough service for you to, and for the fact that you don't have enough services to address the needs of the people. It's just stupid. Yeah. And every time I hear something like this, I get very, very fucking frustrated because it just doesn't add up. Who else do you call in those moments? Like, I'm thinking of myself if I was in a situation like that, who the fuck do I call? Because I don't want to call 911, but I may not have a choice. But that's like a life or death situation. I am gambling with my life if I decide to call 911 if there is an emergency. Like that to me isn't it. There has
That's
to
why
be
most
something
black
better.
people don't ever call 911.
That's a whole other thing I hear people talk about with like when you need the police, when y'all need the police, y'all not thinking. I'm like, bro, at most, a lot of black people as a person that has lived in predominantly middle class, a lot of times white dominated spaces, my family has still never been a pro. There's been a few times where the police have been to my house and that was like, accidents, people, got hurt and had to go to the hospital or whatever. But there was never like, oh, we're calling the police because we just feel like somebody's walking across our lawn too much, whatever. Like you don't, that's an unspoken but spoken rule in a lot of black families, even if you are living in a middle class scenario, that like you don't just call the police for no damn reason. Cause like, they can pull up on you and you might be outside. They might think you the person that they're trying to, who knows?
That's the problem.
They might pull up and see, this person got, well, is this gun registered or what? I don't know. It's just like all kind of shit. And they see the gun. Like even me, I have my concealed carry, and it's like some people would probably think, let me just have it in my car all the time just in case on me. And I feel like I just can't afford to do that because
you're not most people.
Right. I'm not most people. I'm not most people. If I'm traveling, with me and my girl and Jamal or whatever, we're in these little bumfuck towns and stuff. Sure, I'll probably have it on me, but I can't just like walk around Chicago with my gun on me. First of all, I don't feel like I need it in that kind of space, but just in general, some of these privileges that you want to enjoy, whether it be living in a dope neighborhood or your Second Amendment right, you don't feel like you can always express those things or enjoy those things because there's complication. So I don't know. I think there just needs to be some middle ground of people that can just deal with civilians and not from a criminality perspective, but from a conflict resolution perspective. And I think a lot of police officers look to criminalize things when they don't necessarily need to be criminalized. So yeah.
I hate it. Moving on. Trump basically is trying to kill people with his rallies. Apparently, his rallies have been linked to due to after a Stanford study to 300,000 COVID cases and over 700 deaths. So
yeah, it's interesting. It's over with, bro. Like it's over.
It's okay.
There's no point of even trying to make logic with it because it is what it is.
It's just like they're like this world doesn't make any sense. I honestly don't know how I'm like if it wasn't for bills that needed to be paid and I wanted to live a life, why would you do anything why would I do anything because this world is fucking stupid.
This has made me really double down on after I get my decent little bag with this comedy shit and whatever is pulling a Dave Chappelle and being in the cut somewhere
easily.
Because just like going back to the jokes we were making earlier, a lot of Trump was elected for a reason. Even if he lost the popular vote, there's millions and tens of millions of I don't know if it's hundreds, but tens of millions of people that at least voted for him. So a lot of those opinions, and I saw Jack Nicholson or whatever the old golfer was talking about. I don't care. I'm not worried about things that he says. I'm worried about things that he does. And that was such an old white privileged thing to say. It's like, how can you ignore what somebody says to you, especially when their job is to lead and motivate people?
Impact you.
Yeah, like that's very important. You old 80-year-old white dude, like shut the fuck. How does that? That's very important. So yeah, I don't know. I'm tired of people. I want to be in the cut somewhere and mow my grass and walk my dogs on my property and shoot guns and shit.
Yeah, this is fucking annoying. In addition to the craziness, also more craziness is that a hospital in Virginia, I think multiple hospitals were hacked by like ransomware. And they basically were like, so essentially what they did, they were basically telling people that they couldn't be admitted because the hospital was full.
Interesting.
But it wasn't
So
full.
like, it wasn't full, but
What is
like
wrong with people, bro?
like a hacker went in and basically filled up everything in the system,
People
and they
hacking
were
everything
basically
except for
needed to
Sally
turn.
Mae.
No one has hacked Sally Mae yet, and I'm trying to figure out, and I do figure it out though. It's about pain and suffering, right? Like these things are about making people suffer, right? And so because already suffering happen, like for sure, it's about my pain and suffering, honestly. And if they're not going to alleviate my pain, they're not going to do that. That don't make no sense. Why people like chaos like that? And I don't know. This world is going down in flames, and I'm just trying to make it. I'm
just trying to make it.
Honestly, yeah, and that's that on that. In sports, the Dodgers win the World Series. Congratulations to the LA Dodgers.
Good Dodgers.
I am one of those people who found out that the Dodgers won the World Series when CNN told me that they won the World Series. I was someone who also had no idea that the World Series was on.
Is your neighborhood like randomly loud or anything like that with like random yelling?
Nope, never heard it. And then I was telling my friends, I was like, if someone would have paid me and said, look, I'll pay you off them Sally Mae debts if you tell me what's going on in baseball right now, I would have said it's shut down because of Corona. That was my response.
A whole championship is
a whole championship didn't happen. They in the middle of the World Series. Like it's in the city too.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far I am from shit, and it's crazy. It's hilarious, and also shout out to who I follow on Twitter, because no one's ever said anything about the World Series on my Twitter feed. So that's also very
baseball is still a very middle America sport, and we don't really do a great job. Or they don't do a really great job of marketing its people. Look at LeBron and the basketball.
You can still barely show your personality like in baseball, or like even like in your style on the field. It's still like a very regimented.
Even like the Tom Brady. Even Tom Brady has a social media presence, and
that's very
Baker
true.
Mayfields and stuff. True. Like, I don't want to make it a white and black thing. I think it's
well, no, I wasn't making it a white and black thing. It was more of like
at first.
But the regimentedness is almost like golf. You know what I mean? It's like.
But even Tiger Woods and Bubba Wallace, you still kind of know these names.
The cleats you wear, you can't have any like style or real pizzazz, and your cleats got like match the colorways of your jerseys and like all that other shit.
Bubba Wallace. Who's the other?
Bubba Wallace is NASCAR.
What's the Bubba? Bubba something.
Bubba Watson is a golfer.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and I agree. It's just weird. They just don't really like. There's no swag. I feel like in baseball, and it's hard for us to like. Talk about it. You don't see
it's hard to pay attention to. I mean, this is a short season, but I mean, usually baseball runs from the beginning of April to October. Like that's a very long season to hold someone's attention. So,
yeah.
But like, there's no SNL baseball players, or they're not on. You don't see them hanging out with Odell and fucking some random bar in LA. Like that kind of stuff where it's like culturally they're just not relevant. It's interesting that even as like individuals, you would think, okay, sure, if the company itself, the MLB is not that, but whatever. But like as individuals, you just don't see these cats anywhere. Really.
Yeah.
Especially in the age of social media, there would be an expectation of the thought that they could make their presence known in the media, which would bring more people to look and watch the sport. I feel like if there were like people who were relatable in that sense, to be like, hey, come, whatever, but like you said, Kyle, I guess it's very strict and very old school and very the way it's always been.
Well, I think the game hasn't really changed either. You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing. It's the exact same. There's been no real developments. Like the NBA added in a 3-point line in the 70s. You know what I mean? Like there's been nothing like that where like the game has really advanced from what it was in the 1800s for the most part, really.
That's real. Which is also
a long, slow game.
Yeah. Javante, uppercutted the fuck out of Santa
He hit
Cruz.
that man like he doesn't have a family at home.
Honestly, you ever like watch something and then feel it?
Did y'all watch it live? I watched it live.
No, I didn't watch it live.
My
I
internet
watched it
was
as soon
also so slow I had to watch it on my phone. So, but I was watching.
You was dedicated. That was dedication.
And Gervonta looked like he might have been in trouble if that fight had gone a little bit longer. He looked a little tired, but he was waiting on that one hitter quitter, and he hurt.
Tell y'all something.
I thought he was dead. He didn't move for a solid 45
What I'm telling you
seconds.
is, he was hurt. He
The
was
way
concussed.
he folded, it was the way he folded
His
into like
leg was
like
up
leg,
under his
and
body.
it's like his body said, like it was like a full on shutdown robot type shit. It just, I was like, what the
If you look back at the clip, if you listen to this, you look back at the clip. His dad who was like sick, who was sick in a wheelchair. He got knocked out in his own corner. You just see his dad like reach out to his son, like touch.
It's like the opposite of what Simba was trying to wake up Mufasa.
Yeah, it's not funny. But the way his dad reached out to that young man, like, yo, and like touched him a little bit, I felt so bad for him. Like, yo, that man got knocked the fuck out. But what I was about to say before I start being inappropriate was that's Tank's game a little bit, which it'll have to change. He's only 25 and he's going to have to like find ways to not get hit. But like when he knows that he's got you at a certain point and he touched you and he sees your reaction, he gets to this point where he's like, all right, you're going to maybe get a small hit off, but this is my opening to fucking hit you. He was throwing that same left uppercut the whole fight. The whole fight, you saw him trying to get it, but he was blocking it. And he just kept, but he had touched him once around the glove, and he's like, all right, this is not his motherfucker. He can't take my punches.
Yeah.
And then he just was, that's why that part in the round, he just was stalking him and just impressing Santa Cruz because he knew once I really touch him, one of these punches, if not knock him out, it's going to really fuck him up because he can't take my power.
Yeah, he was just hitting him with body shots.
Right. That's what he did. Right, exactly. He's going to have to be better, I think, defensively because as you can see, he got cut up a little bit and he was getting touched a little bit early on. So he's going to have to get better defensively so that he can actually be healthy and going into those last 8-9 rounds feeling good. But, it was a really good fight. I think for Black people, fight parties are one of the most, I think, honestly, bro, this might be a hot take. Fight parties are more of a Black staple than Super Bowl parties. A Black staple. You look at some of, because it's boxing, the big fights aren't free. So it's typically somebody's house that's either doing well or, some people have to be invested into the fight. So that's one thing that Super Bowl doesn't have. It's watching a fight is inherently more intense than watching the Super Bowl. You might have moments of a Super Bowl, but a fight, any given moment, you feel like somebody might get knocked out. So it's like you can't look away. You can't really engage in conversation. And also, Black people, anytime there's a Black person fighting a Mexican or a white person, it's also a racial civil war.
I do think you get more kind of invested in the bigger boxing matches just because it's like a one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
fight parties.
You're rooting for a singular person to kill another person, essentially. So I think that the rooting is different. I don't know if I'm willing to go as far as to say that they're more important or they're bigger than Super Bowl parties, but I can see what you're saying. And the reason I
don't think that is because I also don't think that it's because football, like the Super Bowl itself, brings more for more Black people, right? Versus boxing, which is just like a boxing, whatever. So you're saying that it's more of a staple for Black, like a Black,
the Black community in that household per millions of, like, not saying this like the dollars moved around the neighborhood. I'm not talking about anything economically. I'm talking about culturally for a group of 5 to 30 Black people to be in a somebody's home that paid $100 to see a pay-per-view. to see a black man fight a white person or a Mexican or Puerto Rican is typically what ends up happening. That culturally is more important because let me tell you some other factors. Super Bowl's on a Sunday, fights are typically on Saturday night. So fights, you can typically say, all right, we're gonna be up here turned up until 12:30, 1 o'clock. I can sleep in all day. Super Bowl, I gotta go to work the next day. And
I think
and Super Bowl is a great chance that in the Super Bowl, the team that you typically root for is not in the Super Bowl.
that's what I was
probably
about to say.
80% of the time, your
yes.
team's not in the Super Bowl. But
Okay,
you can have,
I won't argue this because, like I said, I've only been to maybe 2 fight parties in my life versus the multiple of the Super Bowl ones that I've been to in my life. So I don't know, maybe it's just my experience. But to me,
you don't know what the fuck you're talking
to
about.
say that it's no, I do. But to say that a black fight party is more
culturally relevant in the culture.
Culturally. Well, no, because I don't think that's not what you said initially. You didn't say culturally relevant.
I said it's more important to the black community than a Super Bowl party. And I would assume that culture.
I disagree that it's more important to the black community. I'm not saying whether it's to see this like racial thing or this civil war between
those things are aspects of it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like culturally important, like the Super Bowl is a huge thing in many families. Even if you don't fuck with the football team, you won't go to a Super Bowl party because they got a Super Bowl party.
And that's the biggest.
And versus
fight parties. Think about fight parties.
Exactly, fight parties. So you're like, oh, I don't know who that is.
But you're gonna know. But all you need to know is that that person looks like me, and that other person doesn't look like me. So let me just root for.
Okay. I think we're gonna definitely agree.
Young black man.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Danny. I don't think I'm willing to walk out onto that ledge yet, but I get what you're saying.
Fuck you. The podcast is over then. Thank y'all. No, I just think a lot of things go into it. Like I said, there's an investment. There's it's an aspect of Saturday night versus Sunday night. It's typically black versus somebody else. As you're talking about the best seats, who gets the what seat. There's undercards. Super Bowl is easy to not really pay attention at times because it's a long game. Whereas once the main event comes on in a boxing match, everybody shut the fuck up. But what do I know?
I don't think you know anything.
Fucking athlete. Entertainment. Sorry, go ahead.
Celebrities really have the funding to do what they need to do on these damn costumes, and they did just that. Mm-hmm. There are some great costumes out there. Who do you think won based on the ones that you saw? Because a lot of celebrities went the fuck off. So like Sweetie, she was Mystique from X-Men.
Very good.
The Weeknd was
he was the best one.
The Nutty Professor. It was almost like you didn't recognize. It was almost it was the Nutty Professor.
He could have been in one of the movies.
He could have been in the movie. That's how well the makeup was. It was like, damn. Like that suit and that.
Sierra did a really good job with her like multiple.
Sierra was multiple people.
I feel like Sierra is this is another hot take. This is an episode of Hot Takes. She is probably the most respected and elite housewife of all time. Black housewife of all time. Because she's done enough to where like, all right, nigga, give me my respect. But also she just does a lot of cool like house. Her kids are always like healthy and moisturized and like in like good pictures and shit. And she's always at the games with her husband. Like I feel like Sierra is like one of the best.
Well, I don't think. Well, maybe. I guess she's a housewife now because she's just been pregnant back to back to back.
Yeah. I mean, she had most housewives.
So
a lot of them had careers and did things at some point, but then at some point, Jada Pinkett Smith. A lot of that's just, somewhat of a gender thing, but a lot of very smart, successful women. Michelle Obama she's talked about making more money than Barack until this nigga became president. Like sometimes they make sacrifices to raise a family.
Well, does that make them a housewife?
Yes. It's not a demeaning thing.
Jada Pinkett Smith was a housewife?
It's not a demeaning thing.
I don't think we should get caught up on the word.
She's
so wait, you're just saying
raising kids and managing a home while her in taking a step back in her career, while her husband continues to do what the fuck he
Well, I
wants.
still think she still has an active career, so I wouldn't say she's like.
Yeah,
a
I mean, yeah,
stay-at-home
she's the
mom
red
or anything
table
like
talk and
that.
stuff, and I'm not saying, and she's been in stuff probably since her kids have been. I'm not saying she's like somewhere twiddling her thumbs. I'm just
I
saying
never said that.
people that are her primary
housewife, the definition of a housewife is
the definition of a housewife is someone that is taking
who has quit their
their priority
now at home working. Like that's their job at that point. It's
their priority, instead of being a super smart person in the field and a lawyer, actor, whatever, has now shifted to managing not only the kids but managing a multi-million-dollar home.
Do you all
So,
want the definition so we can settle this, or are y'all?
Go ahead. What's the definition?
Number 1, noun: a woman whose main occupation is caring for her family, managing household affairs, and doing housework while her husband or partner goes out to work.
That's literally what I said.
I don't, but I also don't think that Jada Pinkett will fall in that category personally. But that is
maybe. I mean, but it also said primary, so it's not like she's not allowed to go ever do the average housewife.
Well, also, I don't think that
used to be a lawyer.
I wouldn't.
The average housewife that used to be a lawyer, it's not like they can't also teach yoga or consult, on a project here and there.
I actually wouldn't say that these rich people are housewives either, because they got people that do all that shit.
You're still managing. But there's these people. If I'm a famous or a very rich person in a multi-million-dollar home, even if I am hiring doulas or people, you still have to manage.
I don't care enough about this to continue talking about this either. So that's the other part.
I'll let Danny finish it. I'll let Danny have it. Danny is very stuck with it being a housewife. So
I just don't understand how she.
I just don't.
You don't think that she's had it? What I'm trying to say is she's Sierra or Jada Pinkett, or I mean, there's the Michelle Obama. They've taken a lot of.
I get what you're saying.
They've taken a lot away from themselves professionally to take care of their home. So
I get what you're saying.
It's almost impossible to act like they haven't had to prioritize the house and the kid.
So Michelle Obama is the housewife.
She was a housewife for a fucking long. Michelle Obama was a very smart. Was she a lawyer? She was a rock star, so of course, yeah, she was the first lady for a minute.
Yeah,
but
if she ever, and we're fine.
You're trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm trying to say she's just a housewife not doing shit.
I think it's because the word housewife has a certain connotation to it.
I don't think it does.
Also, I remember I said I didn't want to talk about this no more, so y'all could just finish up whatever your final points are.
All right, it's my final. I don't think it's a negative kind. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she did a lot of shit for us and took steps back professionally to take care of us, make sure we were here and there and manage finances, all that kind of shit as growing up. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she wasn't a famous actor or a lawyer or whomever, but to say that she was just cooking dinner and folding laundry, that's not realistic. That's not what she was doing. I think a housewife is especially when you're qualified to make millions on your own, is a very respected and like admirable thing to be. So fuck you, Torrance. But anyways, Chappelle Show's gonna be on Netflix. He loves acting like Danny's just being misogynistic.
You just say no. I didn't say that. I just say you have a different opinion, and it's okay to have.
What does housewife mean to you, Torrance?
You just.
What does it mean to you, though?
I'm not doing this with you because you've already said how you felt.
I'm gonna listen to you. I'm
how I felt. No, you're not, and it's fine.
I legitimately. This is what the podcast is for.
I'm very excited.
If people are being frustrated about this, then they can stop listening. But I want to hear about what your thoughts are about the topic. I'm gonna shut up.
To call someone a housewife, right? To say that, okay, this is the most respected housewife. To me, but like, what makes her so respected? Because she was able to walk away from a career to like have babies and be home, or is it because she's not actively making music anymore? Is it because she's not actively like, or she's doing, you know what I mean? Like, Jada Pinkett, for example, like to say that Jada Pinkett Smith is a housewife because I guess the man is the one that's working and doing all these things, and she's just there to support him and support the family. To me, it's a degradation. To me, it's a degradation of the work that they do outside of like just naturally being a family, like being a mother and a father. Like the father also, like, I don't know. To me,
I think it can be. I think it can be genderless to a degree. I think if Michelle wanted to run for president and Barack was a stay-at-home dad, I would call him. If he took a step, I think if you're taking a step back in your career, whether it be, and it can be for a moment, that moment can be 10 years, whether kids are young, it can be 5 years, whatever it is, male or female. I think that it's still not respected that other housewives aren't respected. The joke I was making about Sierra was that you just always see her doing a lot of cool rich people things that low key, regardless of her being a housewife, it's tight to see her fucking, kids in costumes and her at the fucking games turned up and Russell Wilson making corny ass videos with her and about her. Those things are funny and cool to see and dope to see, but I don't think you're relinquishing these people of the amount of impact they've made culturally. I think it's admirable for someone to say, I'm gonna take a step back and make sure that my spouse, whether it be a woman or a male, to grow their career, and I'm gonna handle everything else in the home that this motherfucker obviously can't juggle. And I think that's all based to say that it's like a degradation to what they have done or are doing. You can come back. I'm not saying that Sierra can't come back with another fucking album or Jada Pinkett Smith can't.
I know, and that's
do something.
Which is why I said I'm ready to move on. I'm fine because I understand where you stand, and I wasn't questioning what you said. I just know what you said, and I was moving on.
Right, and then when you gave the explanation, it sounded like you didn't quite understand what I was saying.
Okay.
So fuck this podcast.
The Chappelle Show
this is the last fucking podcast.
I just think we can disagree, and it's great. The Chappelle Show is on Netflix.
Chappelle Show.
To watch all of those, without a commercial, back to back, from start to finish, probably again and again, and appreciate it for being the greatest sketch show.
The greatest.
Absolutely.
2.5 seasons.
And the fact that no one has ever come close to it is,
especially since.
Wow. Like, wow.
Especially since.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
And also the people who are just like, who watch the Chappelle Show after not watching it in forever, and like the think pieces that are going to be on Twitter, those are going to be fun.
Oh God, the people who are watching it with 2020 eyes.
Yeah,
2020
eyes, that 2020 vision, boy. That's about to fuck some people up when it comes to Chappelle Show. But
vision.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to read those so I can laugh and be like, damn, y'all suck.
This is definitely going to become like The Office for me, like where you just like throw on like a random, I have half an hour to kill. Let me just throw on something random. It's like, oh, Chappelle Show is right there now.
Exactly. Chappelle Show is there now. Chappelle Show is going to be that. So I'm very excited to watch that. And other black, like, look, honestly, I know y'all gonna, hey, like, this is my hot take, but it's criminal time close. It's close to criminal time for me. So I need some joy.
How close are we talking here? Like
2 weeks and it's tap in time. Give us 2 more weeks. Next pay period, it's time to tap in on this Christmas shit.
For me, it's like, not Christmas until after Thanksgiving. So
okay, see, no,
it's a vibe though, but it's still the vibe. I think the vibes going, like, what you have to do is you have to program your vibes into Thanksgiving. Like, all right, so the vibes are here. Thanksgiving Day. So you already have a week of vibes going into it. So then once it's that Friday after Thanksgiving, now I'm tapped in already, whether it be gifts or just in general my bank account.
How early do you put your tree up, Torrance?
Oh, I mean, I haven't been home in enough time to actually.
But okay. So hypothetically speaking, if you had a tree, if you had ornaments on all that in your apartment, when would you set it up? If you didn't have to go out and buy nothing, if you had it already, I don't know if you do fake or real, but if you had your
I'll probably do Black Friday.
Oh my goodness, that's aggressive.
Black Friday.
December.
Well, because my thing is this. After Christmas is done, we can take it down. I don't want it up much longer.
Let it stay till New Year's.
You don't even let it stay till New Year's?
I do. Like, I fine. Like, we'll keep it up to New Year's.
Towards like honestly, December 26th, take it down.
Well, no, like the 27th, 28th. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. This was nice.
How you
put this shit down.
start the Christmas season in November and then pull all the Christmas shit down a day after Christmas is?
Not the day after, just a couple days. That would be me in my home. You asked me what I would do in my home.
I did ask. I don't like the answer, but I did ask.
You don't like the answer. That's perfectly fine. And I'll accept that shit.
Fair enough.
But
sound like me. Yeah, I believe that Thanksgiving comes and goes, and then post Thanksgiving, like you said, your vibes are already there, and that following week, you then are able to qualify to put your Christmas tree up.
Why are you talking like
and
this?
then from there, you have a good 3.5 weeks of trees. You start don't put gifts out any more than 2 weeks prior. That's a little bit too much. You put gifts out 3 weeks before Christmas?
No, I don't put
a couple of days.
I put it maybe
a couple of days before.
No, you gotta have a vibe. You gotta have a vibe. It's y'all don't. Have you been with Paige during Christmas? Y'all live together? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's gonna end up happening is one nigga's gonna say something about a gift. And you like, oh, let me fucking catch up because I haven't bought shit yet. You're gonna buy it and you're gonna just rush.
Well, the thing is, I'm the person that gets the gifts, like buys them but doesn't get them. So that's not even a thing right now.
Yeah,
I mean, similar to me, but whatever. It'll be a socks or something. But at least you take it personal. I take gift giving very fucking personal.
Oh, absolutely.
So at this point, like I said, I mean, yeah, a week or so, week and a half before
also,
gifts can start.
Do y'all do real trees or artificial trees? Because that's another
artificial trees. Because you don't want to clean up all that.
See, growing up, we did real trees every year too. So that's the other reason why we didn't get one. Like,
no,
I don't live in a.
I want to hook that bitch in and take it off and put it in a box and store it downstairs for another 360.
If I had a freestanding home, where I had a garage and I could go burn the tree if I needed to or whatever, and to dispose of the tree.
You throw them on the sidewalk.
They come get them. Did you hear how awful that sounded to me?
The city will come get your tree.
The city comes and gets them, but then also there's
splinters and you got bugs and shit in the house.
It's really not. They're pine trees.
Like Paul fucking Bundy, set the bitch on fire and let it just burn. Right. Oh my God, could you imagine? That stressed me the fuck out thinking of all that labor, but I love it for you.
A lot of labor.
I love it for you.
Drag it out of the tree box outside.
The little bitches start falling off, then it's little tree leaves all up pine trees.
The animals that live in there.
It's really not that bad, trust me. You got it real.
No, thank you, Black King. No, thank you, my Black King.
I like to have the color coded. I know where this color go in this section. Take it out.
You get a green tree, or you get like one of them silver or like.
Oh no! I don't want no fucking silver ass tree, yo. I like classic colors though.
Those trees that are made out of tinsel.
I like the classic. No, I hate those so much. But I do like a classic colors on the tree, right? Like silver, gold, a little red for pop, but we like a classic sort of look. I don't want all them green lights and pink lights and blue lights, and I don't need all that extra shit.
Make sure you got black Santa or Jesus.
Honestly,
black angel.
That's the other thing. I was literally telling Paige just the other day. I was like, in our house growing up, we had a black angel on top of the tree. Mm-hmm. We had black angels dispersed throughout the tree. Black Santa. There ain't no white Santa nowhere. My dad always said, ain't no white man coming down our chimney and living to tell the tale. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was a kid, I told you the other day, my grandmother, she bought one of those like big outdoor, like you can plug them in, they light up Santas or whatever for the yard decorations. And she was like to my dad, do you want this? And he was like, no, I don't want that white ass Santa in my yard. Mind you, we don't even put decorations up outside our house. So hell no. So my grandmother had the nerve to take some brown shoe polish and blackface the Santa and tried to give it back to us again. And we said, Grandma, we don't want this blackface Santa in our yard.
She said, you don't want a white man?
Damn, Palm Springs for the summer.
Rubbing that motherfucker's face, just caressing, being like, yo, I love it. I love innovation. She be like, now she like, you sure you don't want this?
That shit stayed in her house.
It's the racism for me.
Yo, I'm screaming. No, yeah. So
yeah, don't bring no white Santa around my house.
they're gonna have them the Christmas movies on the Netflix, and I can't wait. There's a one
Tap
with,
in.
Jingle Jangle.
yeah, the one with Felicia Rashad.
Felicia Rashad and her little auntie bad.
Michael Keegan Key, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's gonna be in it. It's gonna be great. I'm definitely looking for that magical. I need that Christmas feeling. Shit, I need all that. Thank you.
I love the low budget black movies. Netflix has some little run of low budget shits where it was like movies that were in the same like universe.
Yeah.
So y'all niggas did it again.
I like this. This
is off shot in 2 days.
This
her hair's different in the same scene.
That's crazy.
It's a different time of day, but the feeling is still.
This is real. This is very good. This is making me feel very good.
Sun went down in 3 minutes. This is fantastic.
More serious note. R.I.P. gospel legend Rance Allen.
Yes. Torrance, you was definitely practicing them runs.
You said what?
You was definitely practicing them runs.
No, I did not. No, I never. No, I can't. This is a lot.
You should make your vocal students do practice. There you go. We were talking about that.
I'm not. No, they would not do that.
You go.
Like, no, Jesus. Actually, no, not at all. But R.I.P. to a gospel legend. Truly a pioneer in the gospel world. So R.I.P. New Ivy Park. I'm waiting on my box. I got my little UPS little tracker or whatever, and I'm tracking it. And it just, the whole mailing thing.
I almost believed you for 2 seconds.
They said it might be delayed, and with all the fires.
You mean your box that you purchased from Adidas?
They said the box was coming, so they said because the fire.
That's
the they always, how FedEx to be sending all them. How FedEx be sending them emails. Due to the fires that's in the area, it could.
No, I don't, because DC's not on fire. So
you're right. But I get those, so that's why mine's is delayed. I'm just telling you, I get those emails. They told me.
So are you saying that Beyonce sent you something?
I'm very excited.
I'm very excited. Something from Adidas.
Beyonce, we text every now and then. What is your
Wait. Sorry. Who texts?
What is she saying? Beyonce has my number.
Shut your mouth.
Every now and then and again, like
my nigga Rolling Ray got a box too. What size does that nigga wear? Like, need an extra small in my pants.
Oh, stop!
I need a 2X. I need a 2X.
Boy. Daniel no. Daniel no to that one. Daniel no to that one.
It's 3X.
Daniel, no to this one. No. Where is?
Oh, that was Daniel Sellers that said that. That was
God. How to get your ass together because
that was Daniel Sellers.
That is not it.
I will say though, it was very nice going on the timeline and seeing the women get salty about missing out on the Ivy Park drops.
Yes,
like they feel our pain when we try to buy sneakers from Nike.
Let me get a baby's size 4 in the shoe, and then.
Shut the fuck up, okay?
See what happened? What happened?
No, I'm not
you said a joke that's gonna get you canceled.
No, because you're about to cancel all of us, and I don't want that.
Oh God! If this gets me canceled during a panoramic and telling these little jokes, it is what it
have one of them little like 4 or 5 letter organization nonprofits coming after you. You better stop playing.
It is what it is at this point. They know my heart.
No, they don't.
We need joy, and we need to tell some jokes. But
Ugh, that was nasty. That's
not
inside
it.
ear.
I'm not doing this. Shut up. The sneakers that. The sneakers.
Yo, is the bottom of your shoes
The
soft?
sneakers. I'm retiring. Thank you all so much. This is the grand time. This is fantastic. This is the greatest night of my life. Thank you. It was fun, guys. I need no.
Ah, damn it.
Oh my god,
Bruh,
I've been laughing. For the people listening, I've been laughing like with no volume coming out of my throat for the past like 30 seconds. I'm crying a little bit. This will be much better seen on the YouTube. Torrance has walked away. He has left the booth.
All right, a lot of what's happened in this episode is that we had to cancel Parallel Park, sold out show, and I had so much just like comedic tension that I was planning to get out at the show that you motherfuckers, you just had to get it here because I did not get a chance to tell these weak ass jokes that I had.
Honestly, I think the only saving grace here is that I've kind of accepted that I'll have my place in hell. You know, I've already accepted that long ago.
Oh man, this is also another premise. This is another premise I thought of is that most people are bad. Like we want to cancel people. Most people either they fucking jack off too much, or they steal sometimes, or they lie, or they're a little bit racist. There's no way you're not at some point a bad person. So let's stop trying to, you know, there's like 5% of shit that goes on that people should be canceled and like lose their job off of. Everything else is just like next Tuesday is gonna be another thing. So stop trying to fucking cancel people all the time. What are we talking about? Sneaker at fails, baby shoes, and Kim.
Should we just go ahead to our first sponsor break at this point?
Yeah, this podcast is brought to you by Baby. Baby shoes. Do not walk on them. But you know, definitely calling this podcast. This is called Baby Shoes. This is all right.
Please do not.
Please
do not name the episode Baby Shoes. I'm gonna smack you.
Ooh, golly, boy.
See, Torrance, it's moments like these where I wish we were all recorded from the same place so I could just physically hit him. It would make life so much easier, I feel like. So Torrance, let's switch gears. Something's happening on Tuesday. Why are you playing macaroni? I don't want that in my ear right now. Something's happening on Tuesday of this week. It might change things for a few people in this country. Some people are going to be real sad or real happy, and probably not much in between. If you live under a rock, we're talking about election day.
Hey, Torrance, you good, bro?
I'm listening to Kyle. Thank you.
Damn, bro.
Are y'all gonna be watching the news on election night? Or are you unplugging? What are your plans?
I got Tuesday off, so realistically, I'm probably not gonna get to vote until Tuesday, just because I want to. We talked about before. I want to make the most informed decisions. The president's been decided months and months and months ago.
Down ballot local stuff.
Years ago, high key. But I do try to take pride in the local stuff, and I think low key that is just as or more important, you know. So, and I just haven't had time to truly research people. So I know there's things online you can take, like little quizzes, and they'll kind of like tell you, and you can like print it out. So when you go to the polls, you can just like know which one. Because I've a person that has voted a bunch. It's like them first 3 or 4, you know, that everybody else is like second alderman of the 14th district. I'm like, who the fuck? So you don't want to just be. You feel bad when you're just scribbling stuff in when you're voting. So that's what I'll probably do either tomorrow when this comes out today.
Yeah.
Like
so you're gonna do that, but then when it's actual election time, like
I'm gonna watch.
Are you gonna watch the coverage?
You have to watch. Yeah, I mean, I think if you to not watch I watched the last election when I was in San Francisco by myself, and that was kind of eerie. Going to the work the next day, going into work, especially working in a place that probably most people voted for Trump. Where I work now is a lot more liberal, and I think it'll be a lot more understood if Trump wins my feelings and whatever emotions. So but we have Tuesday off to go vote. I'm gonna try to, honestly, bro, I'm gonna try to go get like some cases of water, maybe find some precincts like down south, like some granola bars, maybe, and just like give them to people
who are like long lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, I honestly want to do that because I have the whole day off, so hopefully, God willing, my line is 15-20 minutes at most.
I've noticed a lot more people actually have like just election day off this time around. Usually it's like your employer just has to give you time to vote, but I've noticed a lot of companies are just straight up closed.
Yeah.
This year, which is interesting.
Shout out to HeadGum. Yeah, that's a blessing that we got. So yeah, I got Tuesday off.
What are your plans?
I'll be watching with multiple bottles of alcohol.
Do you have an alcohol of choice
on ready
that you're gonna start with?
So
Locos.
For a loco, maybe.
I
mean, shit, you might as well.
I'm gonna. I'm not sure what I plan on starting with. I know I plan on
Cobra
ending.
Throwback Thursday.
Wow, that was
Take It Back Tuesday.
A little pointed. No, it'll probably end up being champagne at some point because I'm going to celebrate
be in a celebratory mood.
Myself and my life, and the fact that no matter what, I still have music to make and shit to write, and not really.
I can't. The positives, no matter what happens.
Exactly, I have to think of the positives, regardless of the outcome of this motherfucking election.
Yeah,
and
I think the thing we have to remember though is like we might not technically know who's going to win the election
that night
on Tuesday night, so that's going to be like another weird thing, especially like for you living on the West Coast. Like, I remember I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, essentially, right after he had accepted, and then Hillary had whatever that word is. Conceded. Thank you. Conceded or whatever. But that was at 1 a.m. West Coast time. You know what I'm saying? So I can't imagine like I stay up on the East Coast for anything. But I think I'm gonna have some nice drinks, some nice herbal medication as well to go with myself. Until nice and calm, and I'm gonna watch coverage until I just fall asleep probably.
Yeah, I feel like it would be tough to try to go into this, and it's gonna be a weird feeling because I don't know if I'm going to or anyone's gonna feel necessarily like when Barack won, like that celebration, like my president is black. I think it's gonna be like a sigh of relief to a degree, and then like I tweeted once again, it's not like Trump's gonna just leave office next week. We still got 2 more months. When is inauguration day?
February 20th.
Yeah,
January.
2 more months, 3 more months.
You can do a lot of damage in those 3 months.
It's like getting fired, but you still got to work your 2 weeks. And it's a disgruntled employee. So like, that's a whole nother thing. Is if he wins, if Biden wins,
Trump might air this whole bitch out. Honestly,
yeah. What are we gonna do for the last 2 months of the year during an already crazy time? Who knows? I don't know.
And so that's like the thing that's like kind of like the reality is that no matter who wins, it's just going to be bad. Like there's like, it's not like, okay, cool, when this day happens. It's kind of like with COVID. People are like, oh, I can't wait till 2021. Like
for what?
It's just time.
It ain't the light. Yeah, it ain't about to just switch. The light. Yeah, the light ain't about to turn off and all the corona's gone. Like, what's up? Like, no, that's not how it's going to work. However, very similar to the election. It's like, all right, cool. If Biden does win, it's about to be hell afterwards. Like, it is going to be the most Twilight Zone experience.
I will think it would be interesting to see how many like Republican senators and stuff like that distance themselves from Trump, like in that 2 to 3 month period, if he does lose. Because like they have nothing to really fear from him anymore. There's no real retribution anymore at that point. So it will be interesting to see like how much he can really get away with and like how many enablers he has if he does win. But yeah. I'm just ready for it to get here. Like this shit is so stressful with work and all that other shit. I'm just ready for it to be overweight.
Especially what you got going on. I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it behooves all of us to watch and whether it be with some kind of support system, whether it be just somebody over the phone that you have or whatever. Because I remember when Trump won and having to go into work the next day, I was legit.
It was
I know
depressing.
how I am. I'm typically like, even killed. I felt it.
It was
felt some kind of way.
It felt like someone died, honestly, that next day.
I genuinely didn't feel that great. Felt worried. Felt frustrated. Felt confused. Felt angry. All these emotions you have when like somebody can just clearly say things. And being the president is somewhat of an impossible job.
Yes,
you're president over hundreds of millions of people, like we talked about, in different classes and things like that. So I don't think most people are acting like Barack Obama was the second coming of Jesus, just because he had a nice jumper and spoke like us. But it was still a certain level of tact, and respect and decency that he had that did help us. Because any president is going to have to do some nasty, dirty shit to be the president of a somewhat nasty, high-key, nasty, dirty country. Even if you are a smooth-talking Barack or Kamala or whatever. I think that's what was a weird thing. And this, I'll save it for my final thought. What are we watching?
Did you write this one? Who wrote this one?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's too damn bad. You're gonna say something? Well, that's too damn bad. David, what we're watching, David Letterman, my next guest. I thought it was pretty good. There's a couple of new episodes that came out, and it was a Lizzo one. It was a Kim Kardashian one. There's a Robert Downey Jr. one. I think there's one more that I'm missing. But it's good, man. It was Dave Chappelle. I'm sorry, Dave Chappelle. It was really, really good. They're about an hour each on Netflix. And I don't think Dave Letterman necessarily goes like the deepest of deepest. What he does definitely asks very honest questions, and it's not late night by any means where it's just like, what are you promoting? But it is not like Iyanla Fix My Life. It's just like, it's somewhat of honest / vulnerable, creative, but also personal conversation. They do like field pieces too within it. It's really nice. I think a lot of people shit on Lizzo. Maybe either I've said this to y'all or to Ashley. I feel like Lizzo is one of those people that if you actually know her, you love her. But since you don't know her and she's just like a public figure, it's like she's kind of annoying. But really, when you get to meet her, it's like she should be a fucking annoying. She's a 300-pound famous chick who probably was doubted a bunch of her life, and now she's a millionaire. So I would probably be an asshole too if I, grew up like that. So it's a good little, not too heavy on your heart, listen and watch, of a show.
Okay. True. I just finished The Good Place last night, the 4th season of that. So completed another sitcom. So I'm gonna finish Schitt's Creek next, and then
tried to watch Schitt's Creek. I could not get me.
It's very white. It's very white,
and I couldn't do it.
I know it's very white.
Shout out to all my white friends. I love you. You're great. But in this time of Danny's life, from a content perspective, my whole life have watched mainly white stories. You have to be very, very good and well written for me to invest time in watching.
And what I will say is that it's really, really well written after you get through the first and second season. Not necessarily the second season. Second season is actually pretty good, but the first season is like.
Yeah, I tried. It was like, why am I? It was just like, it was nothing about it. There was no like character that was like, oh, this is the funniest character. Like, I feel like the son, and maybe it's supposed to be like the shock value kind of character, but he just wasn't given.
I can understand that from the first season for sure. Yeah, but afterwards, he doesn't become the funniest actually. In my opinion.
I maybe have invested 20 minutes into it, so I'm the last person to ask. But I couldn't really. There that goes. I tried, but I was just like, this is not. I'm not doing this.
Not in the space for that makes sense. I finished The Blood of Zeus, which is like a little anime, the Netflix anime.
Oh, that was good. I watched that in like a day and a half. That was solid.
Literally, I watched it like the other night, just straight through.
What's the other one?
It was pretty good. And then I also watched Kipo. Season 3 of Kipo just came out.
Oh, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, Kipo's great. Dion Cole is one of the voices on there, and it's just nice. It's just very like, this is a good. Oh, and who is it? Sterling K. Brown. He's also on there as well. So I'm planning on finishing the rest of Kipo soon. I have not watched This Is Us, but I heard that it was.
I don't watch that show.
I know you don't. I know you don't. But sometimes I like a little emotional.
I don't like shows that purposely try to make me cry every single episode. It's too much.
It's a lot. That's a heavy series for sure, but it's good.
Everybody got cancer or kids out of foster care, and everybody's getting evicted. I already deal with that in the real world.
Oh my god! Which is why I haven't watched, I think, the last season or this new season. So I'm a little behind because I like to watch animated shit, as you can see.
Also, Auntie Felicia Rashad, Black Box on Netflix. Good little scary kind of movie.
On Netflix?
Yeah, it's like a sci-fi.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't even heard about that.
I'm sorry, it's on Amazon. Not Netflix.
Is that the one where she's like the scientist or whatever? And they're like removing people's memories or some shit like that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that trailer. What the fuck?
It's newish.
Yes.
Number 2, the one I did see.
This is backwards, so you can't even see it.
Speaking of scary shit, if we're on that topic,
His House.
I have not seen that yet. That's on my list. Literally, that's on my list for this week. It's His House on Netflix. But then the other one is the Amari Hardwick and
the Voodoo joint.
Loretta Devine.
Yes.
The Voodoo joint.
Yes,
that's on Amazon.
that joint looked good. It's on Amazon?
It's on Amazon, I think.
Oh,
I don't know if it's free, but I think it's on Amazon.
But worst comes worst, you can rent it off Amazon.
Exactly.
Okay. Bet.
So I definitely plan on adding those are on my list for this week to watch some last minute scurry shit before I get into my I don't want a lot for Chris. Yeah. Get a little extra.
Terrible. I have a hot take for this week.
Okay.
It came to me the other day. 8701 is better than Confessions.
I'll let Torrance take the lead on this because I know both albums, but I don't know them enough to like. I feel like Confessions was the most talked about.
Yes, I will say the Confessions was the most hyped about album. I had to pull up the
track listings.
The track list. I had to do that really quickly, but I'm not finna fight you on this one because here's the thing: when everyone was like, "Oh my god," like Confessions is Usher's best album, I was always like, or like when it came out, everyone was like, Confessions is the best album of the 2000 and what is it? 2005 it came out, something crazy.
It was probably the biggest 2004. It was the biggest album of the 2000s, but I think 8701, which came out in 2001, was a better album.
Man, I think slaps on.
Okay, so Confessions had some really, really, really great songs, but also 8701 did as well. I forgot about Seduction.
So yeah, just take your time. It doesn't have to be right now, but just take your time and maybe just play a couple songs off of 8701 that you might have forgotten. You know what I'm saying? I remember I got that album for Christmas one year, and I played the shit out of that CD for forever. But yeah, that's my hot take for today.
Bro, damn, I don't know, bro. I mean, I think just in general, Usher was in his bag. That's what I can say.
He's the king of R&B.
Oh, how do I say? Oh, 8701.
Yeah, Diddy was talking his shit on that verse. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest thing is that people forget. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe this is
it didn't. Here's the thing, I think Confessions had the it had like the major biggest songs ever.
See, man, I can only play these little.
Love of This Club was a different. That was on Here I Stand.
Yeah, this Here I Stand. This is 08.
Yeah.
When I tell you Love in This Club, at most all I was doing was dancing with somebody at my freshman year dance. But when I say when this shit came on, I'm like, I getting your mom picks you up from that